Hello, this tutorial will cover some of the basics of the D2L quiz tool, specifically how to create a test or a quiz and a question library. There will be subsequent videos on how to set up specific questions and how the Respondus lockdown browser works. To get started with a quiz, you will first click on the Quiz tab. The quiz page will show all of the current, past, and future quizzes that you have created. To create a new test or quiz, you will simply click on New. You will then set up the specific parameters of your quiz. First, you will give it a name. I'll call this one Test 4. Then you will choose the category. If you've already set up the category in your gradebook for quizzes or tests, you will just select it from the drop-down menu here. If you have not set up a specific category for quizzes or tests, you can do so by clicking on Add Category. You will then designate the specific quiz within the quiz category by selecting it from the drop-down list here. If you have not already entered this particular grade, you can do so by clicking here. Give it a name, assigning the points, and clicking Save. Checking this box will allow the grade the students make to automatically export to the gradebook. If you want the computer to grade the test or quiz, simply click here. Now you'll want to save your quiz. To set the restrictions or the parameters of your quiz, such as the date and the amount of time allotted, you will do so by clicking on Restrictions. You can make the status active or inactive, and assign a start date and an end date, and this will display the test or the quiz in the calendar. Having students required to take this quiz will require that they enter the quiz through the Respondus lockdown browser. This is completely optional but not recommended if students will be testing at home, as the lockdown browser doesn't always work with all computers. Another option is to require students to take the test or the quiz in the testing center. If this is done, you can create a password and advise the testing center of this password, which the testing coordinator will enter when the students take the quiz. Assign your time limit here and choose Show Clock and Enforced. The grace period just tells the teacher how long the students exceeded the given time limit. The Allow Normal Submission option allows a student to submit the test or the quiz no matter how long they've taken. A late limit will give the students an additional number of minutes to complete the tests without penalty. The Auto Submit automatically submits the test or the quiz as soon as the time limit has passed. After the 61 minutes, students are no longer able to enter answers or save their work. Depending on how many attempts you want to allow your students on the test, you would set that here. And you do have the option of unlimited or just one. If you want to give the students the ability to see their questions and their answers, you can do so here. I always allow students to see the questions that they answered incorrectly along with the correct answer. At some point, you may want to close access to the test completely. In that case, you would add an additional view. Give it a name, select the date after which they will no longer be able to view their answers, and click No. Now you're ready to enter the questions. At this point, it's a good idea to set up the question library. D2L will then pull questions from the question library randomly and put them on the test. To do that, you'll click on Question Library. I've already created question libraries for Tests 1 and 3. For Test 4, we'll create a new folder by clicking on Section and Create New. We're calling this Test 4, and I'll show that section name and click Save. I'm now ready to enter questions. Click on Test 4, and here's where you will create the questions to go in your question library. You have the option of creating true, false, multiple choice, and all of these question types listed here. We will have another tutorial explaining how to set up the specific question types. For now, I'll go back to my quizzes under the Quiz tab by clicking Back to Quizzes. I'll go back to Test 4, and now I'm ready for the layout. Click on Layout, Questions, and then Add Edit Questions. If I want my tests to pull randomly from the question library, I will create a random section. I'll give it a section name. If I enter directions here, I will need to tell the computer to display those directions. I can display the message once or repeat the directions before each question. Then I will save. To create another random section, go back and you can do so here. I'll show my section name and click Save. Now I want to designate how many questions the computer will pull from the question library for the test. Now I will import those questions from the question library. And since I haven't set up a question library for test 4, for demonstration purposes, I will select from test 3. Greetings and farewells. If I want all of these to be options, I will simply click on the box next to the folder and hit save. Now I will tell the computer how many questions to pull from the question library. Let's say we want 2 questions worth 2 points each. I will enter those numbers here and then select save. Now I'll go back to my quiz and I can see those are entered here. If I want these sections to appear on separate pages of the test, I can simply click here, save my quiz, and it's ready to go. Join us for more tutorials on how to set up specific question types and how to use the Respondus Lockdown browser.